This year, I got a little itch, and that itch is history. And history has honestly never been my favorite subject. Math, art, science, technology, I'm all over those subjects. Love it. We've been exploring history, but here and there, and not with an official curriculum. And I feel that my kids, my 10-year-old and my 8-year-old, are officially ready to engage with this type of knowledge. If you're here, you're probably also looking for a history program. So grab a cup of tea, or it's summertime, go grab a refreshing smoothie, because we are gonna sit down and do a flip through of the History Quest Early Times curriculum. Hello, super mamas out there. I am Erica. I've been homeschooling my kids almost 8 years now. I have a 10-year-old, an 8-year-old, and 3-year-old. And we are a eclectic and for sure sometimes a hot mess of a homeschool family. But all I have to say is from year to year, I have seen my kids learn and grow. And in that way, it reassures me that it is all good. In my last video, I mentioned that a part of our summer was going to be starting the History Quest curriculum. Now you're saying, why would you do that? Why would you start this in the summer? Well, the summertime is way more relaxed. I don't have all the other lessons to deal with, and it gives me the time to really figure out the flow of the program. So with starting now, I can get an idea of how to customize the curriculum to our schedule in regards to how many days I'll end up using it, how long we will study it for each of those days, and which of the materials work for us and which don't work for us. Why did I choose History Quest? So after roaming the internet, I came across History Quest, and I had also seen Story of the World and The Good and the Beautiful. Now with The Good and the Beautiful, it's a very comprehensive program, but it was heavily religious based, and that I did not want. It didn't really fit for our family. Now Story of the World, it is a similar concept of the narrative type book, but somehow with History Quest, when I looked at the study guide and all the other materials, it really seemed to fit with our family. Like right now, I don't expect the kids to memorize historical facts, and I was really looking for a curriculum that inspires curiosity of the past. And based on what I see of History Quest, that is gonna work with this program. Now, what is History Quest? Now, here are the books. We have History Quest Early Times. History Quest Early Times is a secular homeschool book focusing on the years between the Paleolithic period through the 8th century CE. Now, because it is secular, it presents religious beliefs from that period not as factual events, but they present them more as, how could I say, more through a historical lens. And that definitely fits more with our family style of learning right now. Now, what grade level is History Quest? Now, according to the website, it is suitable for grades 1st or 4th as a read aloud, and 5th grade and up as a independent read. Now, I'm going to be using this with my 10-year-old and 8-year-old, and perhaps my 3-year-old will be interested here and there, just because there's some nice picture books that go along with the program, and coloring pages, and even some other hands-on activities. Okay, let's jump right into an overhead view so you can really get a more detailed look at this curriculum and see if it fits for you and your family. These are the 3 main textbooks that you're going to use. You have the History Quest Early Times chapter book, you have the History Quest study guide, and then you have the Usborne Encyclopedia of World History. Now, I bought these 2 on the Pandia Press website, and just a little note, for the chapter book, you can also purchase this as an audiobook or as an ebook, so you can find what fits for your family. Now, the Usborne Encyclopedia, at first I looked this up in our interlibrary so I could try and possibly loan it, but it wasn't available. So in the end, I got it on Amazon. but I didn't have to pay full price for it. I was able to get this one as a used book on Amazon, so that helped me to save a little bit of money there. Let's jump into the chapter book now. So, History Quest Early Times. This gives you a real good idea of the major areas of study that you'll have. Paleolithic times, Neolithic, civilizations, beginning. We have Egypt. We have Andes Mountains civilization, Mesoamerica, Babylon, Assyria, Persia, the Phoenicians and Hebrews. We have here Greece, ancient Greece and India, the Roman Empire, and we go into China and the Byzantine Empire in Arabia. So each chapter focuses on one of these periods of time, and then what I like is within each chapter unit, you have what's called the history hop. Now in the history hop, this is the moment that your child can sort of step into the footsteps, step into the shoes of someone from that period to really give them a deeper understanding of what it was like during that civilization, during that time. Now, let's get to the core, the study guide. This is what sold me on this curriculum. Why? Because I like things easy, simple, organized. For me, I like a study guide that I just pop that baby open and I can just go without thinking too hard. Let's see here. We've got our table of contents. You will see there are 27 units. Now, in total, this is going to come to 32 lessons. You're going to say, why 32? Well, they have things that are called the Hygge weeks. And with Hygge weeks, that comes from the Danish word hygge, which means cozy and warm. So these are the weeks that you are going to stop. You're not going to have a unit study, and you're just going to enjoy reading special literature based on one of those time periods. So just strictly some type of picture book, novel book, based on where you are in the study at that time. Now, you also have the introduction. So once I include the introduction in the Hygge weeks, that brings you to 32 lessons. Now, let's go further into it. The first thing that I love that they say on how to use the study guide is, can I change things up? Yes. So it's full of choices and recommendations, so you can customize it to what works for your family. I like that. Now, you have your required book list. So I've already showed you those other two books that we're using, and then you have your Hygge history literature for those Hygge weeks. And then at the end here, you have your main, here we go. You have your literature week list that breaks down by unit the picture books and supplementary readings that you will use for your lessons, which I will come back to this in a moment. So, see here, we have our introduction. What is history? I am going to flip to just one of the further lessons. So let's go here. We're in the unit 5. They give you resources and materials. They give you your supplies that you're going to need for that week and your enrichment reading. Let's look at the schedule, okay? They have it scheduled right now for 5 days. Day 1 is discover. Then we have explore, create, demonstrate, enrich. So you can find what is going to work for your family. I have to say, 5 days a week in my household is probably not going to work. Listening to another YouTuber, she said that she did it in a bit of a shorter period because she combined some of the days together. So I'm going to use this summer period to really figure out what schedule is going to work for us and how much time needs to be dedicated to the materials. Now, what I want to do is I want to go back to the enrichment reading. What I recommend that you do, if you don't want to go through buying all these books, please look it up at your library. I am just such a fan of my library. I max out like weekly or monthly how many books I can take out. And I have 3 library cards, like one for me and one for each of the kids, well, the 2 oldest. But try and see if you can get them from your library. If you can't, same thing as with Amazon that I said before. I was able to purchase some of the books, enrichment books, via Amazon used. So that was a good resource that helped me save some money. As you see here, as we go into the lessons are broken down so simple. There's not too many words. Like for me, I like it plain and simple, so it makes it easy to get through these lessons. Here, we even have where they have their notebooks and we can ask them some questions and they can answer verbally or they can write down their answers. Whatever works for you. What I also like is in the program, with each of the civilizations, they go through drawing on these maps. Why do I like this? Well, at this point, we're throwing in a geography lesson at the same time. So we got a nice 2-for-1 at this point. The next thing that I want us to look at is the Encyclopedia of World History. This book, guys, is beautiful in great Usborne fashion, absolutely gorgeous. This is where everything visually comes to life. Now, already in going through the intro, that takes us up to almost page 99. But as we flip through, see all those beautiful colors and all these explanations that, I mean, it just really helps our kids just dive in and visualize everything that's gone on. These pictures are just beautiful. I love this book. So from week to week, they have references to what your child should flip through and look at in the Usborne Encyclopedia. Now, what I need to add about the Usborne Encyclopedia, and I'm going to go back to this page of it, and this is where this program gets, in my eyes, supersized. This book comes with internet links. So what we have to do is from week to week, we go on the Usborne website and I'm going to take us to this as well. I'm going to show you online. You have all these phenomenal links that show you all different other ways of looking at the information. There can be YouTube videos taking you to the Smithsonian and other world history museums around the world. It's just a plethora, what a big word to use, a plethora of information and visuals for your child to really dive into. Okay, Super Mamas, that is the program. I hope this helps you in your decision-making process. As you see, the History Quest curriculum is pretty comprehensive. It provides narrative stories, hands-on activities, picture book reading, maps, the beautifully illustrated Usborne Encyclopedia, and all of its online resources. You can purchase the program on the Pandia Press website. I will leave a link below, and the site was simple to navigate. I like that they offer samples of the paper book, audiobook, and study guide. This helped me in my final decision. Shipping was super duper fast, but it probably helped that apparently they're also located in Florida. I'm really looking forward to seeing how this program works for us this year. The beauty of homeschooling is that we can choose what engages and sparks our children's minds. And with all the programs out there, it's so important that we find what fits the needs and likes of our families. I'm curious, what history programs have worked for you, or which ones are you considering? Let me know in the comments below. I'm going to use this summer to find our little rhythm with History Quest, and once we're further along in the program, I will show you guys how we use it, and at the end of the school year, I will do a full-on review. Now, it's time for us to go on that little trip, get all packed up, and I will see you guys when I'm back. Thanks so much for joining for this video, and I look forward to seeing you next time.